What it do, YouTube? It's SS, and I'm back with another video on this one right here. This one right here. Well, this one right here, I ended up making my Charjabug that I did evolve on the community day for Vote. It did get the exclusive move Vote Switch. I do believe you have to Elite TM it. I could be wrong, but I do believe that you probably have to end up Elite TMing it. So that's something that I already evolved it. So then I just ended up making it. I might end up using it for Halloween Cup. So either way, it's a good investment for myself. As you can see, I'm running it with a double water backline. Pretty much triple counter to Medi. Medi really has nowhere to go with this team. Although my Azumarill is not running Play Rough, it is running the Hydro Pump, and that is only for the steel types. That way we have coverage for the steel types. And yeah, I did these battles on Twitch. I did climb. I went 5-0, 4-1, 3-2, 3-2, and 4-1. I am going to only show 3 sets here. The better sets, so I'm going to show the 5-0. I did go 5-0 in the first set. So this is the first set, and then the second set was a 4-1. Then the third and fourth were 3-2s, and the last one was a 4-1. So I'm gonna show the first, second, and last set. But yeah, if you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I see you guys starting to subscribe a lot more, so I do appreciate it as well. We are up to 50 something subscribers right now, so if you guys could continue to subscribe, that would be awesome. I do believe like 94% of you guys are not subscribed, so if you do end up watching it, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. But either way, I do appreciate you guys. So can we, if we could set a like goal this time, like I said, we're gonna keep going. We're for 15, 20 likes. If you guys hit it, I really do appreciate it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to these battles. If you guys, once again, Twitch link in the description, also with the Discord if you guys do want to go down there. And now we're gonna get into the battles. As we see a good lead for our Vicavote and Vicavote, Charjabug. I meant Charjabug, not Vicavote, Charjabug. I am gonna let the aerials ace go through. I'm gonna go ahead and do one Volt Switch and then throw the X Scissor. Do they want to shield? They do want to shield, which is really good for me. So I'm gonna do one more Volt Switch once again and then throw the X Scissor. And then they do end up letting it go this time, and that which is fine with me. And then this time they end up trying to catch on a Dewgong, I do believe, which they're only gonna catch a discharge, which is fine. I said end up switching out into my Jellicent. They throw an icy wind, which is fine with me. I'm gonna overfarm a little bit here, then throw the Shadow Ball. Do they want to shield this point? I do believe they don't want to shield. They don't want to shield, and I'm gonna let this one go through as well. If it is a drill run, so be it. It is the drill run. I am actually going to be able to farm down completely. They come into a lantern, which is not good for us because that is a core breaker to the team. So I am going to throw the Shadow Ball. They no shield it. I do get to a Surf. I'm not going to make it to the next Shadow Ball, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw the Surf. Then I'm going to switch out into my Charjabug. I'm gonna go ahead and shield this, knowing it's a Surf, and then this point they end up switching on to their superior. I am going to shield this. It is the Frenzy, which is kind of crazy, and now I do believe we go for the CMP tie here. And then they're gonna go ahead and let it go through, which is really good for me. Now I'm gonna go for the X Scissor one more time and see what they want to do. They do end up shielding, which is fine. So now at this point they have to throw energy, and that is fine because now I can come into my Zoom roll here, and I need to get to a Hydro Pump. So let's see if we can make it to a Hydro Pump. We can live one Thunderbolt, so if they don't have any more energy, we can actually end up KOing this lantern. And a lot of core breakers. I was having a lot of core breakers, as you will see in the first set. It was kind of tough for me to win, but we still, despite that, we go 5-0. And as you guys can see, this is another core breaker, and then they come into another core breaker, which is really not good for us, but we're gonna have to stay in. Charjabug is gonna be doing pretty good up against this Registeel, and I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. Zap Cannon, it is the Focus Blast, and I'm like, okay, why did they go Focus Blast? But either way, I'm gonna go ahead and go for the next discharge. Do they want to shield? They don't want to shield, which is fine with me. And now at this point, I am going to go ahead and shield this uh regardless of what it is. And I think it was a flash cannon. Since it was a flash cannon, I am going to be able to farm them down completely. And then now they're going to come into a Quagsire, and this is looking okay for us. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the X Scissor. If they let it go through, I'm going to go ahead and switch into my Zermal, which I do end up doing. They come into their Zapdos, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw the Ice Beam here. Do they want to shield? And the answer is yes, they do want to shield. So now I'm gonna go ahead and farm up a little bit extra. I'm hoping the Thunderbolt doesn't KO. I'm hoping I live it with 1 HP as who is thick, but we don't live it, so which is really bad for us. So now I'm gonna have to come into my Charjabug here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw right away. We are at the discharge. Do they want to shield? They do want to shield, and I'm like, oh no, this is really bad for me. I'm gonna go ahead and shield here, and they are throwing a drill peck. This is CMP, so it's not looking good for us. They are gonna go ahead and take us out. Now at this point, I need to get to a move here, but they switch out. And because they end up switching out, now I am going to over farm here. I'm going to go to 100 energy. I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball, and then I should end up having a Surf since we are at 100 energy. And I do believe that they're at a Drill Peck, so if they do throw right away, which it doesn't look like they throw right away, and we're going to be able to take this game. So like I said, we have a lot of quarter breakers, but we still, despite that, we end up winning these games. So now we're gonna see Mandy Buzz into our Charjabug, and once again they end up switching out into a Lantern. So this is looking really bad for us. So we're just gonna stay in at this point. We do have a zoom roll for the Mandibuzz, but we do need to win this matchup here. So I'm going to go ahead and let this go through. I know it's a serve, and then I'm going to go for the X Scissor, but I should have went for the discharge. Do they want to shield? They do this shield, so actually was a good bait at that point. Now I'm going to go ahead and shield as well, match the shield. I'm going to go for the next X Scissor. I'm expecting them not to shield, but let's see. Do they want to shield? They do want to shield. Now I'm going to try to catch on my Jellicent. At this point, I am going to go ahead and sack my Jellicent because I know the Mandibuzz is going to come in and they're just going to overfarm at this point. I do believe they're just going to end up throwing. They're not going to be throwing, actually. I do believe that they're just going to go straight for the farm down, which is the correct play for my opponent. And they do go for the straight farm down, but this is fine for me. Because what I can do now is I can come to my Azurimal. We get denied there. We don't get a bubble for free, which kind of sucks. But this energy that this Mandy Buzz has is gonna go to nothing. It's really gonna be nothing. As you guys see, those aerial aces don't really do anything, but they are gonna bring us down to the yellow. Well, not yet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw right away because I do not want to be any lower. I'm gonna switch out into my Charjabug here. I'm thinking about it as we see that they come into a lowland Sandslash, and they end up catching on their Lantern. This is really good for me. Now that the Lantern is out the way, I don't have to worry about that. And now we're up a shield, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this potential drill run, which it is the drill run, and we do call it correctly. Now I need to live another drill run here. If they get the 2, I don't think we live it, but lucky for us, we're going to actually be able to make it to the Hydro Pump, and this Hydro Pump is going to be enough to KO the Sandslash, and we're going to be able to take that game. So now we're going to hop into the next battle. We're going to see Charjabug into a Frostlass. This is not really good for us because, well, we're kind of core broken by it. And as you guys can see, they thought I was going to throw right away, but I don't throw right away, which lets me get a fast move, a free fast move. And now they're going to come into a Registeel. Another core breaker. Core breakers out, though. But as you guys can see, now we're going to be able to throw another discharge here, which is really good for us. Now I'm going to overfarm. I'm going to stay in. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and let this go through. Zap Cannon is going to come through, and we don't get a debuff, which is good for us. At this point, I'm going to go for the discharge, but I should have just went for the X's because at this point, they should be able to shield, and they do shield. And I'm thinking, oh man, this is pretty bad for us. Now we're going to have to go down shields. But because I ended up shielding that, and now I'm going to be able to farm down completely. We're going to come out with a lot of energy, and if that Frostlass comes back, I'm just going to end up throwing these discharges here, and which that Frostlass does come back in, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this discharge here. They do end up letting it go through. I'm going to throw another discharge, and do they want to shield at this point? They do want to shield. I'm coming to my zoom roll, which is why I came into my Zoom because I know I can take a Shadow Ball. I don't want to take it on my Jellicent. If I take it on my Jellicent, this is really bad for us. They come out into an Umbreon and they get a fast move for free, which is not looking good for us. But we're going to be, and we're not even running Play Rush, so we're going to have to spam out these Hydro Pumps at this point, which is kind of bad for us, but we're going to see what we can do here. So now at this point, I do expect them to throw another last resort. They do throw the last resort. Now I'm going to be able to get to another Hydro Pump here at this point, and it looks like we're getting super low. Can I make it to a nice beam? I do make it to a nice beam, but they do this nice catch on this frost lance, which is fine because now the frost lance is out the way, and because the frost lance is out the way, I can come into my Charjabug here, and one volt switch is gonna be enough to KO that Umbreon, and they're not even gonna see our third Pokemon, and we go a beautiful 5-0 as you guys see here on the first set. Once again, link in the description to my Twitch. You guys can watch the VOD. The VOD is up there. For anybody that is questioning my battles or my videos, videos are legit. Nothing about them is fake. I had people tell me that, but yeah. Either way, now we're gonna hop into the next set. We're gonna see a Snorlax, and this person is actually running a very spicy team that I do remember. But either way, we're gonna go ahead and throw the discharge here, and probably should have went for the X Scissor. I don't know what. Maybe X Scissor is the correct play here, but either way, I'm going for the discharge. I'm going to go ahead and let this go through. Body slam's gonna come through. Now we're gonna go ahead and throw the X Scissor, but I should have went for the discharge because I do believe the discharge was gonna be enough. And at this point, they do end up living with a little bit of HP, so I'm gonna go ahead and shield, which is not good for us. And they end up switching out into a Mew. But lucky for us, we're gonna be able to make it to an X Scissor, and they let it go through. So now at this point, I know that they're gonna go for the wild charge, and that Hex is gonna be enough to KO at this point. So they're not even gonna get another move off, which is good for us. Now, if they do come, they're gonna come into a Shadow Mewtwo. So very cool. Mew and a Mewtwo on the same team. But unfortunately for this Mewtwo, they're gonna have to start shielding up again. And now I'm just gonna go over farming here, expecting them to catch. They do end up trying to catch. Now I'm gonna go for the Shadow Ball, but it is CMP, so they're gonna be able to take us out. Side Strike, super. Well, Mewtwo hits super hard, and the Side Strike is obviously gonna hit us super hard as well. So now, I need to make it to an Ice Beam here. I do believe we're at the Ice Beam, so I could just under tap it. And lucky for us, they are not at another move, so I don't have to go for a catch. And we're gonna be able to take this game, as you guys can see. Now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Charjabug into Medicham. We have three answers to Medicham. Charjabug does pretty good up against it, and looks like they go for the CMP. So maybe I should have went for the extra move here. They do go for the shield, which is good. But now I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. I don't think it's enough for a psychic. It's just an ice punch, which is good for us. Now I'm gonna try to catch the next one, and we do successfully end up catching on our Jellicent here. And now they're gonna come into a superior. So maybe I should have went into my Zoom, but at this point I'm gonna go ahead and shield this. I do believe I am gonna shield. Now we're gonna be able to get to the Shadow Ball. Do they want to shield is the question, and the answer is no. They don't want to shield, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw on bad timing. I'm gonna throw the Surf here, see what they want to do here. They do end up shielding this time, which is good for me. So now since they shielded, I'm going to go ahead and let this go through. Now I'm gonna come into my Charjabug again, wait out the clock just a little bit. Then I'm gonna come into my Charjabug. As you guys see, I'm at the move, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it. Let's see, do they want to shield? They don't want to shield, which is good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and switch out. No, are we switching out? We're staying in for a bit. I'm gonna try to throw the discharge just in case they ended up catching, but they don't catch. So now I'm gonna go for the swap. And in the back they have a Mandy Buzz, and this Mandy Buzz is over. They're gonna end up losing. Now we're going to see Superior in the lead up against our Charjabug, and this is pretty good for us. They're going to go for the Aerial Ace, which is fine. And now I'm expecting them to try to swap or catch or something, but they don't. So I'm going to go for the X Scissor here. Do they want to shield? They don't want to shield, which is fine. Now we do go for the CMP, I do believe here. And at this point, they have to shield, but they don't shield, which is okay. And in the back, they have a lantern, and I expected them to throw on CMP, so that is why I went for the extra. As you guys do see that we do end up getting a free move for free. Now I'm gonna go for the discharge here. They do shield, which is good for us. So now I need to stay in. I don't know if they recognize that we're weak to the lantern, but either way, at this point, do I end up shielding? I do end up shielding, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go for the X's just in case they try to catch, and they don't. But now they're gonna have to throw their energy, which is okay with me. They do end up throwing their energy. At this point, I'm gonna come into my Jellicent, expecting there to be a Medicham or something in the back. And if it's Medicham, we're gonna be sitting really good. They switch out as we switch out as well, and they come into a Medicham. This Medicham is still fighting it out, which is fine. They're gonna go for the Psychic here. Do we get the debuff? We don't get the defense debuff, and now we're gonna be able to throw these Hydro Pump. I know Play Rough would be a lot better, but Unfortunate for us, we don't have it. And I knew that they were gonna go for the CMP tie here, so I'm just gonna go for the extra, and then I'm gonna do one bubble and then throw the ice beam here. And then at this point, I do believe I have a shadow ball on my Jellicent, so I can actually just end up throwing the shadow ball at this 1 HP lantern, and we're gonna be able to take that game. So now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Charjabug up against a Buzzwole, and this is looking a little bit tough for us, right? Because I probably should have ended up throwing right away, to be honest. But I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. We're gonna go for the discharge here. Since they are part fighting, I can't throw the bug move, and then now I can actually go for the bug move, the X scissor. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the X scissor. They don't want to shield, which is fine. And at this point, they end up swapping out into a Sand Slash. I am going to make it to a discharge, but since we are debuffed, it is not going to be enough. And now I am going to come into my Jellicent, I do believe. Do I come Jellicent? No, I come into a Azumarill, which is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and tank this move. Maybe because Azumarill can tank the moves a little bit better than our Jellicent. I'm going to overfarm a little bit. And in the back is a Lantern. This is not looking good for us. So I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump. Now I'm going to switch out instantly into my Jellicent. I think we end up losing this game, but we're gonna see. Now I am gonna go ahead and shield, but I knew it was gonna be a bait. So since they baited me, I'm expecting them to shield here. They don't shield, which is really bad for us. So now at this point, I am gonna shield this potential Thunderbolt, which it is this time the Thunderbolt. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw my Surf here. Do they want to shield at this point? They don't want to shield. This is looking really bad for us, and this should be enough to KO if it's a drill run. It is the drill run, but we live on 1 HP because we are the rank 1 Jellicent. And then at this point, I'm gonna switch out, but it's not looking good for us. I'll tell you that right now. So they are gonna throw a drill run. Yeah, we end up losing this game. Yep. They get to another drill run, and then this game is over for us. So maybe if I would have kept the Charjabug alive, I'm not too sure how we could have won that, but there was potentially a win con there. As we see a Gligar into our Charjabug, so I'm going to switch out into my Zoomerl. They come into a Chestnut, and since we're running Ice Beam here, we're going to be able to throw the Ice Beam here. So now we're going to be able to, I do believe I'm going to go ahead and let this go through, hoping I can live the Frenzy. We do live the Frenzy with a little bit of HP, just enough to make it to another Ice Beam. Do they want to shield? They do want to shield, which is really good for us. Now we got shield advantage, so I'm going to come into my Charjabug as this clock goes down. Now I'm going to come into my Charjabug, and they throw in bad timing, which gives me a free fast move, which is really good for me. So I'm going to go ahead and let that go through. This time they throw in good timing. I'm going to go ahead and let this go through as well. And then now I'm going to go commit to the farm down. We do get the farm down, so we're going to come out with a lot of energy here. They switch out into a Surf Edge, and this is not looking potentially good because if they can boost, I thought they were going to throw the Leaf Blade, but they don't go for the Leaf Blade. I go for 3 hexes, knowing that they threw right away, so I can do that. We do throw the Shadow Ball. They ended up shielding, so now I'm going to go ahead and shield as well. I can do another 3, but this time I'm just going to go 1 for 1 and then throw the Shadow Ball. This is going to be enough to KO, and now at this point, I just need to get to uh, a Surf because we do have a lot of energy on our Charjabug. And if I can put it in X scissor range, which looks like it is in X scissor range, but we're not going to need it. We're going to be able to get to another Surf here. This is going to be enough to KO the Gligar, and we're going to be able to win that game. So, really like this team. Well, not the team, but the Charjabug. I've had super fun with the Charjabug as we wait for myself to claim the rewards here. Taking my time, I guess, taking my time. But yeah, if you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I do appreciate you guys for taking the time and watching the video. And if you're still here watching the video, you're the real MVP. Comment below. Let me know that you're still watching it if you heard me say that. But now we're gonna see Lickitung into our Vikavolt, or not Vikavolt, into our Charjabug. Charjabug into Lickitung. I don't know if I said that correctly, but yes. And then they're going to go for the body slam. This is not looking good for us because it looks like Lickitung can actually win this matchup. And now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and shield this potential body slam. It is the body slam because they're not going to go for the power whip, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the discharge here. Do they want to shield? They don't want to shield. So now since it takes a this they're in range for X scissor here, so I'm gonna go for X scissor. And then now they're gonna come into a sand slash. And this time we're not debuffed, so are we gonna get the shield this time or are they gonna let it go through? We actually get the shield this time, so they're gonna farm us down completely, which is not ideal. So maybe I needed to switch out, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see. At this point, I'm expecting there to be a Medicham in the back. So I do come into my Azumarill, and then I'm going to farm up here. They do make it to another move, throwing on very good timing. My opponent's throwing on very good timing. And I miscounted. Well, I didn't count. I wasn't counting and just in general. I don't expect them to shield this. So I'm going to switch out into my Jellicent. And at this point, they realize that the game is over. And we're going to be able to take that game. Now we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see the Onxus into our Charjabug. This is really, really good for us. And looks like they're gonna go for the CMP time, which is fine with me. We're gonna be able to get this move off, which puts it in range for Hexes and Surf. They are gonna throw the Cycle Boost, which is fine. I'm gonna be able to throw this X Scissor at the Umbreon, and now I can switch out into my Zoomerl, and Azumarill is going to be able to take all these last resorts. So now I'm going to be able to farm up a little bit extra energy. They thought I was going to throw right away, but I don't throw. I'm going to hold out on my energy. I'm going to farm up a little bit extra right before we get to 100 energy, and I'm going to throw the Hydro Pump. Do they want to shield? They don't want to shield, which is fine, but that puts them in range where we can farm them down completely with these bubbles. So now they are going to get another last resort off, but they're not going to make it to another one as we do farm them down at this point. I'm just going to go straight for the Ice Beam since I don't have play rough and they probably know it. So I'm gonna go ahead. They're gonna try to catch, and I'm gonna bank a move, and I'm just gonna come into my Charjabug. I'm gonna throw the discharge. We do get the shield at this point. Do I want to shield? I am gonna shield as well. It is going to be the icy wind, but we're gonna be able to make it to another discharge here. And at this point, do they want to shield? They do want to shield, which is really good for us. But we're not gonna make it to another move, which is not looking good for us. But we can come into Jellicent. Jellicent is gonna hard wall all these moves. Well, no, Drill Run, as you can see, Drill Run does some good damage, but this time I expect him to go for the Icy Wind, but the Icy Wind's not going to do anything for him. And now we're going to farm up. As you guys see, I do pause just in case they try to catch on their Deoxys. And since they had a move, we're going to be able to CMP them on the Surf, and we're going to be able to take this game as they force quit the app. If you got if you guys realize that, if you guys know that you're gonna lose the game, just don't force quit the app. It really makes it hard for us to win. Like to, you're just wasting time, which is not ideal. As we see a Talonflame into our Charjabug, so this is not really good. So now I am gonna get the shield and switch out. I'm expecting them to go for the Brave Bird here, so I am going to shield. They do go for the Brave Bird. Now at this point, they come into a Superior, which is looking all right for us because we do have Ice Beam. So I am gonna get this Ice Beam off. And let's see, I'm going to be able to make it to another Ice Beam as they throw on bad timing. And now I do believe I lived with Frenzy Plant and I make a mistake. But they throw an aerial ace, and our bunny, our Azumarill, is so tanky that it's going to be able to live it and get off an Ice Beam. They're going to no shield at this point. I'm going to come into my Jellicent, and I know that they're probably going to most likely end up throwing a Brave Bird here because they are at it, but they're staying in. And since they're staying in, I'm going to throw the Surf. And if they shield, I'm going to swap out. But they have the same idea, and now I am going to be able to throw a next scissor on their Medicham, and we're gonna be able to make it to another move here. The next X scissor, dude, they don't have a shield, so it doesn't matter. It is CMP, and at this point, if I live this, I'm gonna I'm gonna stop tapping, so just so I can get these fast moves off, and we're gonna make it to a Shadow Ball. I can just throw the Shadow Ball right away, and we're gonna be able to take this game. GG's to my opponent. And I do real I think they realized that I what I was doing there. Uh and now we meet a core breaker, and most likely it's double dark in the back, right? So they're gonna come into Greninja as we switch out into our Jealous Scent, I am gonna throw the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is the better move to throw here than Surf. Uh, and because I thought they were gonna CMP me, so I'm not gonna throw. As we do get a call, I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. Now I'm gonna try to farm down with our Charjabug, but probably should have came into my Azumarill, to be honest, to take all this energy and get the farm down. They're not gonna make it to another move, so we do get the farm down, but we're down to shield. So now they're gonna come into their Needle Queen. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the X Scissor. I know it's not very effective, but if I can get him in range, I do believe this is just gonna be a Poison Fang. But I already know this game is over for us, and yeah, there's nothing we can do. I throw in bad timing, and they do end up shielding. I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. No point in me shielding because they're just gonna farm me down. But either way, this game is over, so there's nothing I can do here. I am gonna get to the X Scissor. Do they want to shield at this point? Probably so. They do end up shielding, which is not good for me. Now I have to shield this, even though it is a Poison Fang. I throw right away. X Scissor is gonna be enough to KO. They got a Scrafty in the back, and I need to get the 2 moves here, but yeah, we're not gonna make it to 2 moves as they make it to a foul play, and that's gonna be enough to KO. And we're gonna end up losing that game. Now we're gonna hop into the last battle. So if you guys didn't make it this far, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. As we are trying to make the channel grow, we're gonna see a Alolan Ninetales into our Charjabug, and we're gonna be able to throw the discharge. I'm gonna try to catch, but I don't catch. This is gonna be disarming voice or dazzling gleam for sure, and they do throw the dazzling gleam. So at this point, I am gonna bait because I'm expecting them to think that I'm gonna go for the shadow boss, and I do get the shield and rank 1 jelly. Are we gonna be able to live this? We barely live just enough to get the shadow ball off. Do they want to shield at this point? They don't, but they also live it. Now they are kind of energy dry, so I can farm down with my Charjabug. Let's see what they come into now at this point. They come into a Diggersby, and I'm just gonna go for the X Scissor here at this point because I can't throw the discharge. Discharge is double resisted. They are gonna throw a move here, and I'm thinking it's the Scorching Sands, but they're running Fire Punch, so I'm gonna switch out into my Azumarill. I'm gonna farm up extra energy, make sure not to throw in CMP. I'm gonna shield here. I'm gonna farm up a little bit extra energy right before 100 energy, and we're gonna throw the Ice Beam. They do win a shield. Now we're gonna be able to make it to the next Ice Beam. This is gonna be enough to KO. And then at this point, they're still staying in, thinking they have a chance to win. But as you guys can see, the Scorching Sands do not do anything to my Zermroll. And they're gonna throw another Scorching Sands, even if they get the debuff here, which they do end up getting the debuff. This Hydro Pump is still going to be enough to KO, and we're gonna be able to take that game. As they thought they had a win con, but nope. Guess what? We're running Hydro Pump, and we're gonna be able to take a 4-1 again. So, like I said, I went 5-0, 4-1, 3-2, 3-2, 4-1. So nothing but positive sets with this team, even though we did get hard countered a lot of times, a lot of core breakers. Still ended up winning, finding a win con. But yeah, if you guys did like the video, as I say this enough, but I'm sorry to say this a lot, but it's one of the part of the things in here in YouTube. So if you guys did like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Once again, link in the description to my Twitch and the Discord if you guys do want to join or follow me on Twitch. But yeah, I will see you guys on the next video.